Okay, alright. Ready or not, this is happening. Going live. I am being a person. I'm talking. It's always a surreal experience to go from drawing to being perceived by other humans. Because animating can be a very isolating thing, especially doing it freelance by yourself, you're alone in your apartment. And normally I have things playing, like music or podcasts or something, so I'm hearing other people, but still I'm not participating in the conversation so much. I'm absorbing information. But now I find myself in the precarious position of being the one supplying the information for other people to listen to. Maybe other weirdo introverts out there. And so it makes me hyper aware that I'm speaking. It is a weird thing, but anyways, basically every Sunday I'm gonna try to start streaming, doing like little animation reviews. First thing, can anybody hear me? Is the volume okay? Let's see here. Alright, it seems like it should be working. Well, without further ado, I guess I'm just gonna start. What's up, Hello Kid Pin? What's up, Aiden Daniels? What's up, some user? Yes, welcome. All weirdos are welcome, and so I guess I'm gonna start reviewing people's art. Yes. Every Sunday, I'm gonna be having a Discord. I'm going to post the Discord link in the pinned comment. It expires after 7 days, so if you're watching this on the playback 7 days later, it might be expired now. But just check out the other more recent streams, and there should be a Discord link. If you're an artist or an animator, you can join it and post your stuff in the share room where it says art critique requests, and I will be trying to every Sunday share some thoughts. Sometimes I might have a lot to say, sometimes I might not have a lot to say. It's just gonna be what it is, and hopefully you can learn some stuff from this, get some pointers, and it'll be a fun experience for everyone. I'm not gonna be mean, and I'll be a nice person, and hopefully try to also be mutually beneficial, because when you analyze other people's animation, you're also teaching yourself. And if you can explain concepts to other people, then that means you understand it more thoroughly. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Discord. And basically I have 3 things I'll be reviewing today. And then after this, I'm going to just be animating surreal creatures. And oh wait, I'm muted. Oh wait, no, you muted it. Okay, cool. All right. Glitches are happening in my brain, but the stream is not glitching, so that's the most important thing. Yes, staying focused. I can't figure out how to. I'm kind of new to this OBS stuff. I can't figure out how to make the audio work on the browser thing. So I'm just playing this from my computer, so the computer audio is going to be going to the microphone, but you should be able to hear it. I tested it and I could hear it, but the main thing is going to be the animation, but this one has nice lip sync, so I wanted to make sure we can hear it.
He's not even that cute.
Whoops. Okay, so I'm just going to play it through once, and then I'll say stuff.
When you're convincing yourself to get over a man, guess what I'm about to say? He's not even that cute. He's not even that cute.
Nice.
When you're
so yeah, this is funny. This is good. Yeah, so this person, it's their first ever puppet animation, and it was done in Toon Boom Harmony, and you can do rigged 2D puppet stuff. So as a first attempt, this is pretty impressive. I have limited experience with rigging in Moho, so I know like it's, even if it looks simple, there's more going on here than you might imagine. So the first things I noticed is that the lip syncing is on point. The expressions are fun. And a couple things that could improve it is the character's spine could squash and stretch a bit more. So if we go through here, you'll notice that the torso is kind of really stiff. So it kind of just feels like the torso's, you know, a single image kind of moving up and down. But of course torsos are stiffer than the other parts of the body. But you have like nice follow through of the hair and drag on the hair as the character snaps in and out of poses. The hair is still following through and moving. So that's a good touch to keep it feeling alive. And a couple like little, again, super good job, doing amazing. But a couple like little nitpicky things would be, if you're going through here frame by frame, you'll notice some parts, the model's kind of breaking. Like the line work on this hand here is breaking apart from the wrist, and then around the armpits the lines are kind of disconnecting. So little stuff like that could be polished up a bit. But again, like maybe it's kind of more punk rock, you know, you just want something like loosey goosey, and that can fit with the style, but it kind of doesn't look like that was intentional, like especially with this hand over here. So just little things like that to polish it up. But yeah, like the poses are fun expressions. You could also maybe like where she comes in here and she's like, but guess what? Again, I don't know how you have this on your character rig, but and you could figure out how to do this, but maybe like stuff like that, she could come towards us, towards the camera. So you have the character moving on the Z-axis. So we have some 3D space being animated. Whereas right now it's more flat, kind of just going left to right, up and down. So you could add some stuff going back and forth, just add a little bit more dynamic animation to it. And like I like these expressions. You could always push expressions a little bit further, but I mean this is nice. The eyes are like getting all wide and the mouth is wide. Maybe make the face could get wider with the mouth. And yeah, like all this little stuff, the eyelashes and the way the eyes are expressing these really big emotions. Really fun stuff. Good job. 10 out of 10, 100%, A+. Good job. And yeah, the Discord from the recent stream is expired. I'll post the new one after this stream is done. So just go to the pinned comment. It should be there for 7 days. Alrighty. Good job. Next up, I don't have a ton to say about this one because this person's making a portfolio, and like this already looks pretty polished in terms of just like a single image. It looks like an adult type animation you might see on Adult Swim or something like that. Yeah, you have like your character poses, character lineup sheet, got your character model sheet. I like seeing this stuff over here. Could maybe get some more expressions, like if like I can tell a little bit more thanks to these 3 expressions over here about how this person's personality might be. You could do some more expression sheets for each character, all your main characters. And let's see here. Boy. Yeah, you could add more action poses. Just like more action poses. Lip sync chart, like a mouth chart to show how the style of their lip sync would be. That's always good. You could add more animals. Like I see you have a chicken here, and this chicken's style, it gives me an idea of how the animals might be exaggerated and caricatured. So I don't know, maybe this is like a main character, like a talking character. But if there's more animals present in your world, I'd definitely explore adding more animals. Add more age ranges for your characters from baby to grandma, so we can have a more fleshed out idea of this society. Because it, like, even if it's an adult animation, there's usually, you know, various ages inside the world. And then maybe like some more architectural type stuff. Like this one, we have a bit of a background, but it's pretty vague. So I'd add more like environment stuff so we can see what is this, the design of the world actually like. So yeah, good job. 10 out of 10, 100%, A+. Let me check out. Let me get some background music and say hello to what's up, the Tired Bean. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and the feedback was super helpful. Oh yeah. Oh, so you're okay, the Tired Bean. Okay, your name is different on Discord. So I was like, wait, who are you? Yes. Okay, so you're this one. Nice. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. If even if it helped just a little bit, that'll make the whole stream worth it. Again, these are just my opinions. They're just my opinions, man. But I think you did a super good job, and I'm gonna put some background music on so we can have some Sonic the Hedgehog in this stream. So let me turn this on. Get on some Sega Dreamcast era. And I'm gonna make sure it's not glitching. Last time it glitched. Let's see here. I'm gonna do one more review here. It's more of a 2D frame by frame animation, more of the stuff that I do, and have it up in my TV Paint. Alright, so this seems like a pretty ambitious little scene. I mean, just for like a single shot. There's like a whole tiny storyline going on here where this whistle blows his nose, then it throws down the tissue, does a little anticipation, then goes into a jump, boom, spins around, falls down, lands. So, and then the final part is like looks like an exercise of we're getting exercise of like a spine, showing like a caterpillar type walk with these blocks being dragged along. So it looks pretty good. The back is kind of wobbling a bit, but it might be because these are communicating blocks. So it's like more blocky, so the tail it's like more jittery. Whereas if this was just a smooth action, a smooth creature, like a more organic creature, it wouldn't be wobbling like that. But so right here, this frame here, it's kind of seems a little odd. Like going from here to there, it's like a little jittery. So like show like if we track this end here, it goes to there to here, so that's a like easing into that spot, then it shoots back out here, then it goes down. Something about that, see how it's like kind of jittering, but again, like if this way this is reading is like this back block is really light in weight because it's jittering around so much. So it kind of just depends on what this creature is. But that's sort of just a little tangent. But overall, like this looks good. It looks like the spacing is pretty good. And you drew the little main spine first that's controlling the overall action. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. But I would just be mindful of whatever it is you're animating with the spacing to make sure that, you know, things are spaced out, like where they accelerate and then they slow down into their pose. But what we want to be careful about is not having stuff where it's like this, where it like will jump into something that slows down suddenly and then goes fast, slows down. This will create a jitter feeling. So I would just kind of just check the in-betweens and turn on your light box and keep the in-betweens more like where they flow a little more consistent. But again, it's like the material, whatever it is you're showing, like some things do jitter, so it just depends on what it is you're doing. And like, but yeah, overall pretty good job. And then this one, there's some, so like I really like this character design, really cute whistle, and I like the like classic rubber hose type shoes and hands, like a classic type of character. So I get that this is like a rubber hose type physics, so you'd have the arms that are more noodly, how they can be pulled up like that. But some stuff I would watch out for is like twinning, where you have the arms basically doing the exact same shape. It can make stuff look a little bit stiff. So like when this character jumps up, spins around, see how everything is like kind of perfectly twinned. It's like mirror identicals. So the left side is kind of identical to the right side, and that can make it feel a little bit stiff, especially in the jump part where he'd be up here. It seems like, well, yeah, like when he comes down, so the arms, it feels like the arms should kind of be being dragged by the body. So after it spins around, the arms should probably be more up, like this. And then as he comes down, the arms should be being dragged by the motion of the body. And also you might want to have one leg leading the way and another leg kind of following. This way you can have a leg that hits the ground first, as opposed to the legs hitting the ground at the exact same time, which would look a little bit unnatural. And so the arms are kind of being pulled down. You'll notice too that what we're seeing here is a natural arcing of the arms, where they're coming up like this. So they're coming up like this, and then they're gonna be going down. And then when he lands, you could have one leg hit first, and then have the other leg come down like that. Something like that. It's like boom. But yeah, I see like this pose, like this does make sense for the twinning pose right here, because he's like kind of presenting himself towards the camera, like making a show of stuff. So it's not like twinned poses are inherently wrong or anything, but I'd just be careful on parts where things are moving. It can make stuff look a little stiff, but if it goes into a twinned pose, a held pose, that's okay. And then like right here, so like you have a little anticipation of the character gearing up, like he's revving up to do the jump, and that's super cute and fun, and that adds personality to the whistle. And then he's like all dejected, and then he takes a big huff. But I would have maybe a little more anticipation before the big jump here, because like I think this is your down pose right here, and then it anticipates into the jump. But because the jump is so high, we need a more powerful anticipation to go into the big jump. So basically think of it like a spring, where the further you pull it back, the more force there is, or an arrow. Like if you just have a little bit of a pull on an arrow, the arrow won't go very far. But if the arrow goes super far, then you must have a really violent pull that anticipates that violent shoot. So because the jump is so extreme, then the anticipation that leads into the jump needs to also be more extreme. So he needs to probably go down more, and we can see his legs charging up more, and just like something, well, that's, you know, you get the idea. That's a really crummy draw over, but I would also check about the amount of frames you have here. We could probably take out some frames to make it go up here quicker, so he jumps up faster. So it kind of feels like he's just like floating up. But I see you have like a smear frame here, so that's cool. You could definitely explore more smears. So the smear should probably only happen for 1 or 2 frames. You have it stretched out here on the bottom for like 4 frames, so that kind of doesn't read as much as a smear as so much as like a pose that just sort of stops. So but yeah, I really like this little spin he does up here. It's just like a lot of creative little ideas you have in here, but we just gotta add some more drag, add some more successive breaking of joints, and a little bit more anticipation that go into the poses, and it'll be really nice. But yeah, I'm enjoying everyone's stuff. Good job, 10 out of 10, A+, 100%, getting a passing grade. And yeah, everybody can post stuff on the Discord, and hopefully we'll all get better at everything together. I'll get better at reviewing stuff, and hopefully this provides some kind of value to people. And because I like listening to stuff like this. But now, guess I'm gonna get to working on some of my own stuff a little bit, and I'll check on the chat so I'm not completely antisocial here. Let's see here. I think I've heard Richard Williams talk about this. I'm late to that part, but if it's about animation, I would assume you're correct. He's the GOAT. Francis Omisola. Very cool. Excited to see people post on the Discord. Yeah, it's fun to watch these reviews. I've nearly stopped hand animating things, but I want to get back into it. It's worth it. Animation is very hard, but worthwhile. Well, yeah, I mean, animation can be as hard or as easy as it's required to be, depending on whatever you're animating, depending on the needs of the scene, the style, the amount of frames, the frame rate, all that stuff. Right now I'm animating some loops. What is that baboop? Oh, it's Discord. Discord is babooping me. That's why I never used Discord before. This is my first time being on Discord. How do I turn the baboop off? I don't know about the baboop. Oh, people are coming in. I'm just gonna close my Discord so I'm not distracted. Yeah. Well, right now I'm working on some kind of sea creature type things. It's not really sea creature, but anytime you draw something weird, it feels like a sea creature kind of. But yeah, like right now I'm just going through the coloring process, getting these flats in, and then I'm gonna go over on another layer and add some highlights and stuff through cell shading to make stuff pop a little bit. Basically, I make at least 9 loops like this every month that I post on Patreon for musicians and video editors to use in their own projects, because it loops forever, so you can just drop it into a video editing software and do stuff to it, move it around, duplicate it, change the colors, put it over backgrounds. So that's kind of what I do every month. But that's not on top of like client projects where I take on a specific request or work on a specific thing. What's up, Angie K? What's up, It Frano? Love your stuff. I always like seeing it on the Instagram. Are you working on any projects right now? Coloring can feel a little tedious, but it's faster than pretty much every other stage. Like rough animation and cleanup are infinitely longer than this. This is just kind of mindless where you're just filling in the blanks. But then doing the cell shading is a little bit more intensive in terms of you have to think about the form and the shape that you're shading over. But it's still less brain work than the rough animation where you're actually animating stuff frame by frame, figuring out how stuff will go. Your model for selling loops to musicians is genius. I need to get on that. Yeah. I mean, it'd be more genius if you were selling to a community that had budgets, but it's yeah, I mean, well, yeah, like doing the loops, you can obviously charge a lot less than like a full music video because it's a digital download where you make it once and then, you know, anyone can buy it an infinite number of times. So you can obviously price it a lot lower, and that gives it access to different bands that maybe have more limited budgets who wouldn't be able to hire you for a full video. But I'm definitely in the process of trying to get some bigger gigs right now. It's been a little bit of a stressful year. I've been trying to make some loops or short animations. Loopity loop. I've gotten a job as a motion designer in advertising agencies, so I've mostly done After Effects animation, but I want to get back into making loops and hand drawing. Ooh, that's cool. I don't have any experience with any of that. But I imagine working for an agency, is it reoccurring stuff? Like, is it freelance or are you like full-time with them? Pros and cons. Obviously being full-time with someone, you don't have to worry as much about what you're gonna do that month because, well, you have a game plan set. I'll come back to this one in a second, so y'all can see some of the other ones I have in here I'm working on. But yeah, these are all like kind of seaweedy type aliens stuff. But yeah, like this little highlight, I'm gonna go over and add little highlights and stuff over the eyes and pieces like that. I like that dolphin animation you did. Oh yeah, thank you. I love animating underwater stuff because you don't have to worry about gravity as much. And things tend to move more with the wave principle. I love animating with the wave principle. I remember you were going to get an iPad for your music. Oh my goodness, I did get an iPad for my music. And I haven't used it at all because I've been stressed out all year about getting projects going. But yeah, there's this Korg gadget you can get on the Switch, which I had it on the Switch, and it's just like cool Korg instruments. You can make cool video gamey type music. Issue is you can't transfer your songs from the Switch to your computer. So I decided I wanted to get it on computer. My computer's too old for it. And it was like $300 for the computer version. So I found out that on the iPad it's only $19 for Korg gadget. But the issue is I don't have an iPad. So I had to spend $900 to buy an iPad so I could get Korg gadget for $19. Then I realized I just spent a lot of money to buy this thing for $19, and it's a tactical error. But I'm also gonna do Procreate, so it's not a total. So it wasn't just for the music stuff. I really wanna get into Procreate, try some of those cool textures and implement that into animation. I did I have a couple videos on my channel about the wave principle you can check out. It's on the animation tutorials playlist. I have just a video just called the wave principle, and then another video that's the wave principle exercise where you can do like a tail whip exercise. Ooh. So yeah, doing the cleanup sometimes, or the coloring, sometimes I notice sometimes there's parts missing on the cleanup. So I have to go and do a little bit of touch up, like this eyeball's disappearing here. And that's why it was leaking when I colored it. Alright, that should be good. Do a goat breakdancing. I'll put that on the back burner. I work full-time there. Most of my projects are more like video editing and simple text animations. There are definitely pros and cons, but I miss the freelance project sometimes. Sounds pretty cool though. If you have, energy in your free time, you could always try to do little short frame by frame animations, stuff you can finish quickly. Again, that's why I kind of like making these loops, is it's not like a full short film or something. You can have a finished product in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, I say relatively short, but I worked on this smoke animation for like 3 weeks of just like a simple in theory, smoke animation with stars that were going around it. It was in between other stuff, but still, just having something like that on your mind, a simple thing like that on your mind for almost a month, it feels a little depressing, but one more frame here. Is anybody watching anything good right now? I just canceled my Netflix subscription. I have a couple weeks left to watch it before I lose access. I was working my way through Daima, and right now I'm watching Resident Alien, and I want to finish Cobra Kai. And, well, on Hulu, I just finished Fiona and Cake, the Adventure Time spinoff, and it was really good. I won't spoil it, especially if you haven't seen Adventure Time, but any more stuff in that universe is fine with me. Get to see more backstory of different characters, and it was a little bit more adult than Adventure Time in terms of the violence and language because it was rated TV 14. But I mean, Adventure Time itself explored some kind of more heavy philosophical topics, and Fiona and Cake, it revisits a lot of these topics, but because of the higher rating, they're able to be a little bit more explicit with things as opposed to more suggestive. But it wasn't like it was gratuitous or anything. I mean, it's still like Adventure Time character designs. But I did get sad sometimes. And then I watched Look Back on Valentine's Day. It was really good. It's a very inspiring movie for artists. All about the creative process and trying to get better at your craft. And things like, friendship, competition, etc., etc. It had an appealing art style. It's like a manga come to life. And a lot of, not a lot, but I mean a fair amount of moving backgrounds where the backgrounds are fully animated. But it was usually done at a lower frame rate, which, I mean, one is more practical because it's easier to do with frame-by-frame animation to do the moving backgrounds where it's like moving in 3D at a lower frame rate. But I think it looks good because you get to read each image a little longer. Not everything has to be moving super fluid and smooth all the time. A lot of beginner animators think that higher frame rate automatically just means better. But it's just not the case. It's all about what kind of texture and timing, like the timing and spacing influences the frame rate as well. Like if something moves by the screen really fast over a wide amount of spacing, then you need a higher frame rate to accommodate that so it doesn't jitter. But if you have like something where the spacing is really close together, the character's just kind of standing there and maybe shifting their weight a little bit, a higher frame rate would look kind of jittery and bad. So it usually looks better to do things on 2s or 3s or even 4s where there's barely any motion. You don't want like a billion drawings just like stuttering with super close spacing. I'll come back to this one. I'll show you the other. This one I kind of did some weird colors. Oh, let me turn my blue light off in case that's messing it up. Did some sort of eye-piercing circus colors on this one. It's like a little eyeball thing. It's interesting, this process of streaming and talking. It's almost like a meditative thing where I feel like I'm kind of going in a trance. I entered a different state of consciousness. Because beforehand, when I'm anticipating the stream, it's sort of just like a bundle of dread and anxiety. And I think what that is it's not because of streaming, it's because of having anything on my to-do list where I know I have to be somewhere at a specific place or a specific time, and interacting in a specific way, it takes me out of the moment where I can't think about anything else until I'm at that event doing the stuff. So generally, I just like to be in a sort of trance-like meditative state throughout the day. I don't like having things to do. I don't like having places to go. I don't like having people to meet necessarily, but once I get in that position, I always enjoy it, or I at least don't dread it as much as I was anticipating I would. Even though I know this about myself, I still somehow experience anxiety for things happening. It's a really annoying feature because, again, I know that things are never a tenth as bad as I'm thinking it'll be. And even though I know that logically, emotionally, my brain doesn't listen. It just decides that it's going to be worried. But I will say, the older I've gotten, the less I tend to generally worry about stuff. That's probably just exposure therapy. Exposure to life. Just being alive every day. It's just like, well, I've done this before. It's another day. I went to the eye doctor last week. Definitely got a new prescription. Now I need to buy glasses, and I kind of forgot about that part of the process. So I still have my old glasses on. I can't really see that good. I had my Sonic shirt on when I went there, and the doctor asked if I liked Sonic. And then I started talking about Sonic. Let's check the chat. Gotta be social, gotta be a good Boy Scout. Let's see here. Try doing frame by frame in Krita. Nice. I'm gonna do a Krita. Maybe I'll do a Krita live stream sometime of just testing out different programs. Do you have any advice on animating things with repeating patterns? Like, I was animating a guy breaking through a wire fence, but had no idea how to animate the wire fence pattern distorting. Oh, a chain link fence. Interesting. A chain link fence, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Excuse me. Well, it depends on your program, but so like, I don't really know how you would do this, but say you had your chain link fence, like a pattern. I guess, like, let's see, what did you say? Chain link fence, animating things with repeating patterns. I was animating a guy breaking through the fence, but I had no idea how to animate the wire fence, or the pattern. The net pattern distorting. Oh, well, I guess, like, again, it depends on your program, but like on TV Paint, let's see, you have like a warp grid. You can add some vertices here, so you could keyframe it. Say the guy bounced into the, you can like do stuff like this. I'm not sure if that's what you said you wanted. You said you wanted the fence like breaking. I don't know. If we like hit the fence, you could like distort or something. I'm not really sure exactly what you mean. Or you could like, if he breaks into the fence, you could erase a part have it like this. Like maybe he broke through the fence. Boom. And then you don't have to redraw the back part, the full thing again. You just have to, because it's a held frame, you just draw in the new part. Maybe you'd want stuff like he's hitting it right there. I don't know. I'm not really sure if that helps. I'm not really sure if I understood what you're saying, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I tried. Oh boy. Oh yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, I was calling this part. Kind of noticed I draw eyeballs a lot. I guess it's because when you're drawing abstract stuff, if you want it to be a living thing, you just add an eyeball. Otherwise, it's just like a mush of appendages and like organoid, intestinal, amorphous gush. But if you add an eye, well, now it's a sentient being, because the eye is an extension of the brain. You know, they say it's like the window to your soul, and it is. It's the window to your consciousness, because it's how you perceive reality, or at least it's how you perceive information. Well, of course you have other senses. What am I talking? It's not just your eye, but your eye is your primary thing. You have all your senses. It's just like you absorb all this stuff in around you, and then your brain constructs a model of how it thinks reality is. But of course, actual reality, baseline reality, is 1,000,000,000 times more complicated than our little primate senses could ever perceive. There's a color spectrums we can't even see. There's sounds we can't hear. There's vibrations we can't feel. But even though we're very limited, life goes on, and we're able to navigate the world without bumping into walls. So it's good enough. It's good enough for survival. But I always think about how a bat would see things, because it's all just based on hearing and vibrations. So the mental model of the world in a bat's brain, it's inconceivable to us, because we can't comprehend that. It's same with a dog. Like the way a dog smells, we will never be able to comprehend what that would look like in a dog's brain, because our brains can't understand that. Doobie doobie doo. How long have I been streaming, for? I've been streaming for 11 minutes? There's no way. I think my thing is messed up. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Oh. Mostly trying to keep these colors pretty analogous, pretty close to each other on the color spectrum. But then I'll just add like a little dash of more complementary color. Like this is mostly warm colors with the orange and red, but then the eyeball part has green, so it kind of sticks out from the other stuff. So a lot, like I said, a lot of these are kind of more for musicians and live visuals, so I have to keep that in mind about like having it to where if they wanted to change the colors, like on the color wheel, things will look decent. So if you have like a bunch of random colors, it's kind of hard to edit it in a way that would make sense for another background or another kind of context. Oh yeah, someone was asking a second ago what the wave principle is. It's funny you asked because I actually have... Oh, I've been streaming for 49 minutes. Awesome. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate. Let's see. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is kind of concept of the wave principle right here, because I'm working on a lightning and electricity type of course. So I wanted to have some stuff showing electricity moving along a wave pattern, and basically like wave principle, things generally move in a wave-like pattern. We have the amplitude, basically can track the top and the bottom, and this is even spacing, so you'll notice that the top is moving at a consistent rate across the screen. And then another thing you'll notice is that this angle here is also moving. Same situation. It's like even spacing right here. But that's just like a side-to-side wave. But you can also show you this a little bit better. This might demonstrate it a little more. So this will just be the ground part I'm gonna anchor the wave onto. Basically, imagine that's like a tail and it starts whipping up. What you're gonna notice is that I turn the light box on, the base of the tail is moving first, and this tip part is delayed. It's being dragged by the base of the tail. So the base of the tail moves first, and then the middle part is pulled along by the base, and then the tip of the tail is pulled along by the middle part. And as it continues its path of motion, comes down, and the base starts to whip up in the opposite direction. You can see here the base is whipping up in the opposite direction, but the tip is still following through in the original trajectory, and it starts to slow down, and the energy of the base is waving up like a wave that waves up like this, and then the tip snaps in the opposite direction, and the tail is now being pulled over here until it lands over here, and then it starts to whip up and repeats the pattern. So this is kind of what it looks like. And that's like that's the wave principle in a nutshell. You can do this exercise where you just create a little dot and anchor part and you practice this. And this is basically the concept behind waving flags, hair blowing in the wind, tails of animals, loose clothing. Basically, things don't just all move in the same direction at the same time. Parts move at different rates, and the leading primary action pulls along the secondary motions. So again, like clothing, your body pulls your clothing along, and you can use the wave principle to enhance those effects. This is another little creature, and I use the wave principle like in all of this goopy loopy stuff of these sea creatures. It's basically like if you are having really stiff animation, then adding things like the wave principle, it will make things feel a lot more fluid and smooth. Kind of envision this little squiddy guy being like a kind of reddish type thing. Maybe a little darker. Maybe a dark purple pupil, perhaps? No. Darkish red pupil, maybe. Lighter. Maybe a little lighter. Okay, let's think here. So I'll have to consider how I'm gonna cell shade this. I just keep the colors very limited on this one. Like just these three colors. Do a little cell shade test. Create a new layer, put this one on add. Adding these little cell shades make it more like a balloon or something, like more 3D-ish, but I'm not sure if I dig these colors yet. Ow! God damn it. Oh, I had a stinging nerve pain. My left arm. Happens sometimes. Gotta do my stretch. Go like this. Imagine a flat wall. Hold your hands for 5 to 10 seconds, then relax them, then put them down on this direction. This happens sometimes. It's like right by the elbow. Sometimes I go like this. Ugh. Sometimes I wake up, my arm's asleep. It's weird because it's always my left arm, even though I'm right-handed. I think I just wanted something a little more saturated. All right. All right. I think I'm done. All right. I'm gonna post the Discord. Thank you for watching. Have Patreon. It's 50% off this month. Have courses. You can check out the lightning tutorial on the channel. It's the newest video I posted last week. It's doing not super good, so if you gave it some views, I'd really appreciate that. And thank you for submitting your art. And I'll see you in the next one. And I might be streaming randomly throughout the week. So, you know, but hopefully next Sunday I'll stream at a consistent